أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum, my brothers in Islam. In this video, the Majlis of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam applying in Medina. We are interested only on what he taught us, between 500 to 600 verses of the Holy Quran. Ahkam al-Quran, Kitab. The purpose is the fulfillment of the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He will guide us. He will never leave us astray in the large. The theme is the difference between Al-Īmān and Al-Islām. I don't know how many books you have read on Īmān, Hadith, but I have read a lot. When you come to the question of Tawheed, one of the best books, I think about 5 or 6 volumes, was written by Ibn Taymiyyah and Abdul Wahhab and others. I think the Jazairi. Tawheed is available in English language. I think it is beautifully written. I used to read this book, Al-Tawheed, a quarterly journal of Islamic thought and culture. This is volume 1, number 3, Rajab, coincidentally, 1404. So these are our books from Iran, but I'm not a Shi'i. I used to read a lot of them. I have a lot of them. The other books in Arabic I used to read is from Ittihad Islami Alimi. This is number 14. ماذا خسر العالم بانحطاط المسلمين. Abu Hassan Aliyu Al-Nadawi. This another one from the same source, Al-Ittihad Islami Alimi Tabasit al-Aqaid Islami, Hassan Ayub. This is number 35. I had a lot of them, truly speaking. And as I said, I learned Arabic, and I was grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Despite my scientific inclination, I did not forget Arabic language. This is page 277. You will see the highlighting. That means I have read. But what can I remember here is very interesting. I have nothing. نشأ علم كلام أو علم التوحيد. كثر البحث في أثر العباسي في عقائد واتخذ ألوانا لن تكون أيام النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ولا الأولين من الصحابة. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Forget about it. ilm al-kalim or ilm al-tawheed. Forget about it. Not taught by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. I will read to you. كثر البحث في أسر العباسي في العقائد واتخذ ألوانا لم تكن أيام النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ولا الأولين من صحابته، وأخذت هذه البحوث تتركز ليتكون منها علم جديد يسمى علم الكلام. ولنشأته أسباب داخلية وأخرى خارجية. أما أسباب الداخلية فهي تعرض القرآن بجانب الدعوة إلى التوحيد لأهم الفرق والديانة التي كانت منتشرة في العهد النبي فرض عليهم ونقض أقوالها. So my brothers, as I told you, I have read a lot. So it's just a matter of opportunity to read, forget about it, and then come back to the reality, what Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught us. I said this page, this is number 35. The rest I think I had about 70 or so all read, but now forgotten them. You see, the difference between Tawheed and Islam should be made clear to you. Tawheed is the first 13 years in Makkah, where Rasulullah had no even right, never established any school in Makkah until he migrated. But what I want you to understand and warn you is the explanation of Abdullah ibn Umar, that a letter, a word, a verse, an ayah, and a surah, take it to 187 Al-Baqarah, take 4 or 5 surahs, ayahs in a surah, Surah Al-Kafirun, or the short ones. They are all telling you, each one, that fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what else remains? One ayah, one letter. I have to have, I think, how many letters are there in Surah Al-Baqarah? Check from Quran Wiki. I think is it around how many I've forgotten. But the number of words in the Holy Quran, I think is there, but is it how many? 730,000? So I must know all the 730,000 or 740,000 words in the Holy Quran. To fear Allah, I need only one. So my brothers, let us be factual and practical. So limit yourself to all what is happening in Twitter, Tawheed, everything. It's irrelevant to the scale in the hereafter. I was born in 1946. I was lucky from Islamic, Muslim, educated. They call themselves Malams. And they're on that particular time. I hope Allah will forgive their mistakes. So, 1960 I was in secondary school, and our Islamic instructor always vividly asks me about maturity. When am I going to be matured? I was a small boy, and the characteristics were mainly centered on hair, on the pubic hair, black. So I think up to probably around October or November, I saw 1023. So I reported to him. He even used to inspect my pubic region, because we were very close to my teacher, late Alhaji Baba Ahmed, very close to my father. And I think together with Beletun Mafara, we are the two students very close to late Alhaji Baba Ahmed. So I think December or first, or when we came back from holiday January, I knew I was matured. The essence is warning, be careful. I don't think we missed prayers secondary school. I don't think I missed prayers HSC, higher, although it was in Lagos. And the university, I had never missed a single prayer. I can delay it, especially during practicals. We do it at convenience, when it's convenient. When I graduated, I never missed any prayer. I attend congregations. I don't read Arabic books. I have by then the 10 volumes, I think, or 8 volumes of Sahih Bukhari, English, Arabic. So if I read English, I again read the Arabic section. I have Sahih Muslim commentary, but no Arabic version. I had Muskat al-Masabi and other hadith books. So I am well grounded in Islam. But what I like is explanation. Vividly remember buying Sahih Muslim, Sharh Sahih Muslim. I think about 6 volumes or 5, I've forgotten. Because I believe in explanation. So that was my life until 1990, when we had an argument with the local scholars that I am indoctrinated by Western education, and therefore all my books are influenced by the Jews. So I am not allowed or entitled to speak on Islam. That thing irritated me. I said, well, my Arabic teacher taught me that Arabic is an evaporated language. It's a language of vocabulary. You have to read it every day or else you forget about it. And that my local Islamic teacher warned me that I don't need any scholar, teacher, but what is important is I should buy books with sharh explanation as elucidations. Everything has been explained there. Just I need a dictionary. That was what prompted me to buy books with sharh, like Ihya Ulumuddin. I think I bought Asqalani, but then other books on Sahabas. All my books on history are in English language. So 1990, I started reading Sharh Imam Muslim, but I didn't understand. Then I bought Nail al-Awtar. Later on, I bought Sir al-Jarar. So I had a lot of books. Ibn Taymiyyah, definitely I had the 37 or 38 volumes. I have also Zad al-Ma'ad, Jawzi, volume 1 on As-Salat. How many times did I read it? But nonetheless, because of the heaviness of taqalid and the bid'ah, I didn't understand the mistakes during As-Salat until maybe 1991. And I said, look, it is wrong. I cannot, if you talk to the local malams, they don't listen to you. Who are you? You are Baturi. You are a Westerner. You speak English language. So how can you join people who are arrogant? So I had to seclude myself, refuse attending congregations. Well, I was lucky enough. We go to work. So Asar, Zuhur congregation. Maghrib, I do it alone in my house. Fajr, I don't attend congregation. Isha, I do the Isha for a long time late. Around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I don't attend Isha very early. That was when my local Arabic teacher died, the one I trusted. What I can tell you, truly speaking, I have never had, witnessed an imam. Because most of the time, Maghrib prayer, as I said before I revolted, going in Fajr prayer, how much I think the fifth juz downwards. You never heard anybody, you never hear anybody reciting Baqarah, Ali Imran, Nisa, and Ma'idah, and Al-Araf, Anfal, all the rest, the first 40 or 48 surahs of the Holy Quran recommended during the Fajr prayer. Hardly, truly speaking, I am a witness. So what is wrong? These are people who claim they are scholars. They never imagined any Zawal time. We fix the wall 1 o'clock for Zuhr prayer, but sometimes it is not 1 o'clock, it's after 1 o'clock. Look at me. Asar, 3:45, to somewhere around 4 o'clock, before 4, but sometimes after 4 o'clock. Look at me in hellfire. Nobody knows the time of Fajr prayer. Exact time. Guess it, except my father. So, my brothers, I was in hell until I saved myself from learning basic Arabic language and using the favor, the small amount of my salary and other allowances to buy Islamic books and stay at home and read on my own. Together with my dictionary. There are about 4 or 5 dictionaries, including Lisan Arab. I think what one Manjid and so on and so forth. So what I'm saying is that from the day 1960, end of 1960 or beginning of 1961, when I saw pubic hair, to 1990, I never had doubt that I did anything against or neutralizing my Tawheed. Allah, the books, messengers, Day of Judgment, and the Qadar. I don't think I never made any mistake. Last, I am a mushrik. But I had been innovating, not observing my obligatory duties according to the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, including my visit to Makkah, which I revolted in 1983. That I'll never visit Makkah until innovation is corrected. Look, at that time, not very much conversant with the details of Ibadah. But look at me now, telling me that I should join the crowd. I will never do that one. So I don't know actually some people will never understand their mistakes. They die with their mistakes and their sins. Their fate is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If I die before 1990, I don't know my fate. I have died as a innovator. How is Allah going to treat me? I don't know. But even at that time, if actually I have the means, civil servant, very beautiful salary, but why didn't I use them? The Muslims are not taught to understand that whatever Allah gives you, He wants a share. What share does He want? Beautiful dress, cars, marrying 4 wives, or what? How do you support Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? How do you explain what is forgotten or not misunderstood by your brothers and sisters? That is what is expected from you. That is Allah, what He wants from you. On what He favored you, you have to give Him, favor Him also. So mistakes, unfortunately, is there in the heart of the Muslim Ummah. Innovation has crept into their hearts that it is impossible to remove it. Why? They don't read. My brothers, from my own experience, as I said, let me be fair to you. The books in English language are fantastic on Tawheed and the history. I have, for example, the history of Prophet Muhammad, Glom, Martin Links, Hekal, Nadawi, Ibrāhim in from France, and I think 2 or 3 Pakistanis. So I have 8 books in English on the history of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Arabic I have is by, again, the English version by Ibn Ishaq. Then there's another one written by, I've forgotten the name of the author. Then I have also other books in Arabic on Maghazi of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for example by Kafuri. So that is clear cut. But I assure you that there are no books translated in English language that is 99% or 100% on as-salat. In my quest of knowing whether I am right or wrong, I bought a book from Pakistan by something Taqiyya ad-Din, Mufti something Taqiyya. The subject is the correct way to offer a salat. Hardcover. When I read it, I said, not that I wasted my time, but my money, but it's below standard. There's one book, A to Z, by, I think, Peace TV presenter Mamdood. I don't think there's any gist of it. So, my brothers were in trouble. I read a lot of books in English language on as-salat, but failed to explain what is in Zadul Ma'ad, Ihya Ulumuddin, the book of what is it called, Ibn Hazm, Nail al-Abtar, and the Sayr al-Jarrar. These books are very, very important. Mahalla by Ibn Hazm and Andalusi again. But even if you combine these 4 books, you have to borrow from others, chips and the chips. Another very important book is by Qawl al-Mubin fi Akhta' al-Musallin. Very beautiful. But even in that book, well researched, there are about 5 or 6 things that are not well clear because of the nature of Arabic language. It's a slippery, delicate language to understand, especially in this period of disrespect and argument. I read the English translation was even the Arabic, where you have to use nahu and other things and other references he gave. There are 1 or 2 things that you should be told. So writing a book today should not be just for the sake of writing, especially on the Sunnah. No, it should be on the sake of making correction. You have to go by the purpose, objective of revelation. You have to be corrected, to be reminded. Nobody is arguing with you, but it's part of the faith. You should love for your brother what you love for yourself. What is it? Ultimately, a paradise. So we have to understand that Tawheed is simple. You will never become a kafir, a mushrik, if you are a Muslim. Definitely you cannot be, because it doesn't involve activity. I don't know your profession, but my profession is always close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Somebody will die. And I know Īmān And وظن أنه الفراق والتفت الساق بالساق إلى ربك يومئذ المساق. Every time I write a patient, somebody die in front of me, I remember that particular verse and I salute Allah. Scientists, they see Allah, especially biology. You see the Jordan wind, Jordan summer, how the leaves, the trunk. You see, you appreciate Allah. That is Tawheed. It's visual. I don't know, those who study history, geography, how their knowledge increases their faith, but not as scientists. So the question of faith is straightforward. Iman is simple. They say it increases, yes, the more you see, and then you relate that particular incident or logic to Allah, your faith is increased. But the Iman limits yourself to only one particular incident. But the most difficult aspect is Islam. And it is simplest that it is not everybody that has to function or perform the 4, but prayer and the month's yearly fasting of the month of Ramadan. You can't make mistakes on those. I don't pay Zakāt. I've never been to Umrah because I'm afraid of Kaaba. I don't like to see Kaaba. The first time I was in Kaaba, I think it was 1970 something, 76 or so. I was shaking. I had to be pushed from Jeddah, the place where you visit and then take bath before you enter. I was afraid because I was seeing Hubal. So that is what faith is. What is Iman is. You fear Allah. Then you come back to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But when we tell you to come back to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you deny. You waste your time. I just read from this book. I don't think I can find the page again. That Ilm al-Kalam began with Tawheed, long time, Abbasid. That is after 199 after Hijra, I think so. I've forgotten the time the Umayyad dynasty came to an end. Is it 120 something or 100 and what? Here it is. نشأت العلم الكلام أو علم التوحيد كثر البحث في الأصول الأباسي في عقائد واتخذ ألوانا لم تكن أيام النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ولا الأولين من الصحابة. That's what I'm telling you. Forget about what the doctors are telling you, like advanced tawheed, advanced theology. Forget about it. Why is it people are interested on dwelling on the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? So my brothers, that's the difference. Islam is after hijra, the time you are put into your grave. If you make mistakes, you are in trouble. It is governed or sitting on only one word, which tells you to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In kuntum tuhibbuna Allah fattabi'uni. Inni akhafu in asaytu rabbi adhaba yawmin adhim. Inni akhafu in asaytu rabbi adhaba yawmin adhim. I fear that if I disobey Allah subhanahu wa Rabbil Adhim, I fear punishment. But did Allah teach you what? He didn't teach you anything. Not your teacher. He just sent somebody to teach you. And that somebody is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And he never taught you anything in the first 13 years in Makkah, but only in Medina. So my brothers, please, let us be very extremely careful. Let us stop deceiving others. And my advice is to learn the best Arabic language. If you live long, please don't listen to anybody else. But your friend, your lover will tell you you are making a mistake. If he tells you you are making a mistake, please go back and check for your own textbooks. Then hope Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open your breast to understand. But my brothers, you can't do without reading books where all ahadith are collected and explained unto you. Today you can download, but we prefer to buy the texts and then read, because it's much easier. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.